First contact's price. The observatory at Mauna Kea was silent except for the gentle hum of cooling fans and the soft tapping of Dr. Sarah Chin's fingers on her holographic keyboard. The quantum telescope's data stream showed something unprecedented, a massive object decelerating from faster-than-light travel just beyond Mars' orbit. Her heart raced as she triple-checked the readings. "Dr. Harrison, you need to see this," she called out, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. The head of the observatory hurried over, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the holographic displays. The object was massive, nearly the size of Manhattan. And it wasn't alone. Within hours, 7 more vessels of similar size emerged from FTL, arranging themselves in a perfect geometric pattern around Mars. Earth's military satellites tracked their every move, but the vessels made no aggressive gestures. They simply waited. The next 48 hours transformed human civilization forever. The vessels belonged to the Nexus Confederation, an alliance of 17 spacefaring species that controlled most of the known galaxy. Their message was simple but chilling. Earth's rapid technological advancement had caught their attention, and not in a good way. Admiral Caxthor, the Confederation's emissary, appeared on every screen worldwide. His crystalline form shifted colors as he spoke, a trait of his species that humans would later learn indicated emotional states. "Your species has progressed from primitive combustion engines to quantum computing in less than 2 centuries, he stated, his form pulsing with deep purples and blues. "This rate of advancement is unprecedented and, frankly, destabilizing to galactic order." The Confederation's demands were straightforward. Earth would submit to technological restrictions, allowing only approved advancements under strict supervision. In exchange, humanity would receive limited access to galactic trade routes and protection under Confederation law. The alternative was quarantine, a complete blockade of the solar system. In the United Earth Council's emergency session in Geneva, representatives from every nation debated the ultimatum. Dr. Chen, now serving as a scientific advisor, watched the proceedings with growing unease. The Confederation's offer wasn't just about technology, it was about control. "We cannot accept these terms," she argued before the Council. "The restrictions they're proposing would cripple our research capabilities. We'd be giving up our autonomy, our potential, everything that makes us human." But the Council was divided. Some saw the Confederation's offer as an opportunity, a chance to join the galactic community, albeit on restricted terms. Others, like Dr. Chen, recognized it as the threat it was. The debate raged for days as the Confederation's ships loomed in orbit, a constant reminder of the power imbalance at play. Meanwhile, in a secret facility beneath the Rockies, Dr. Marcus Wong led a team of Earth's brightest minds in analyzing the Confederation's technology. Every scan, every passive observation of their ships revealed capabilities that seemed to defy physics itself. But Wong noticed something curious: patterns in their energy signatures that suggested fundamental limitations, weaknesses that could be exploited. "They're advanced," he reported to a classified session of military leaders, "but they're not gods. Their technology follows rules, just different ones than we're used to. And where there are rules, there are loopholes." The Council's decision came after 2 weeks of intense debate. In a public broadcast, Council President Isabella Martinez announced Earth's acceptance of the Confederation's terms. The restrictions would be implemented gradually over 5 years, allowing for a smooth transition into galactic society. Admiral Caxthor received the news with satisfaction, his crystalline form glowing with warm yellows and greens. The Confederation established an oversight facility on Luna, staffed with observers who would monitor Earth's compliance. To all appearances, humanity had accepted its place in the galactic hierarchy. But beneath the surface, something else was brewing. In underground labs and secret facilities across the globe, Earth's scientists hadn't stopped working. They'd just gotten better at hiding it. Dr. Chen and Dr. Wang's teams worked in parallel, developing technologies that the Confederation couldn't expect, because they approached problems from a uniquely human perspective. They think they know what we're capable of. Dr. Chen told her team late one night as they reviewed simulations of a revolutionary quantum shielding system. They've categorized us, labeled us, put us in a box. But they've forgotten something crucial about humans. We've never been good at staying in boxes. As the first year under Confederation oversight drew to a close, Earth appeared to be the model of compliance. Regular inspections showed only approved technology levels, and human representatives at galactic trade meetings were appropriately deferential. Admiral Caxthor even praised humanity's swift adaptation to galactic standards in his quarterly report. But in the shadows, humanity was preparing for something unprecedented. The Confederation had made a critical mistake. They had assumed that restricting human technology meant restricting human potential. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Dr. Chen stood at her old observatory one night, looking up at the Confederation ships glinting in the moonlight. "They think they're watching us," she murmured to herself, "but they don't understand what they're seeing." In her pocket, a quantum-encrypted device hummed softly, connecting her to a hidden network of research facilities around the globe. Humanity's response to the Confederation's ultimatum was taking shape, and it would change the galaxy forever. The Silent Revolution. 3 years into Earth's compliance with the Confederation's restrictions, the underground facility beneath Lake Baikal hummed with activity. Dr. Elena Petrov watched as her team conducted another test of the quantum resonance field, a technology that by all official records didn't exist. The field itself was invisible, but its effects were unmistakable. On the test floor, a scaled-down version of a Confederation shield generator, carefully reconstructed from observation data, flickered and failed as the resonance waves passed through it. Elena allowed herself a small smile. The Confederation's technology relied heavily on quantum stability. They'd never considered that someone might weaponize quantum uncertainty itself. "Test successful," her assistant announced, logging the results in their secured database. "Field penetration at 94% efficiency, with minimal energy signature." This was just one of dozens of secret facilities scattered across Earth, each working on different aspects of humanity's response to Confederation control. The key to their success wasn't just the technology they were developing. It was how they were hiding it. In orbit, Confederation observers monitored what they thought was normal human activity. They watched Earth's approved power plants, tracked their sanctioned spacecraft, and logged every registered quantum computation. What they didn't realize was that humans had developed entirely new ways of measuring and manipulating energy, ways that didn't register on Confederation sensors because they operated on principles the aliens had never explored. Dr. Marcus Wong's team in the Rocky Mountain facility had made the breakthrough that made it all possible. They discovered that the Confederation's sensors, advanced as they were, had a fundamental blind spot. Like humans who could only see a limited portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, Confederation technology was calibrated to detect and measure specific types of energy manipulation, the types they used and understood. "It's like they're looking for radio waves while we're developing something entirely different," Wong explained during a secure conference with other project leads. "They're so advanced in their chosen path that they've forgotten there might be other paths entirely." The quantum resonance field was just the beginning. In facilities under the Sahara, scientists had developed a new form of computing that used crystalline structures to process information, not through electronic signals or quantum states, but through subtle vibrations that mimicked natural geological processes. The Confederation's observers literally couldn't see it working because it appeared identical to background planetary activity. In the depths of the Pacific, a network of underwater labs worked on biological computing systems, using engineered microorganisms to process data and store information in DNA sequences. The Confederation, with their focus on mechanical and quantum technology, had dismissed biological systems as primitive. They never imagined someone could turn the basic building blocks of life into a sophisticated technological platform. Dr. Sarah Chen, now coordinating between multiple research sites, had developed a theory about why the Confederation had become so narrow in their technological development. They've been the dominant force in the galaxy for so long that they've stopped looking for alternatives, she explained during the encrypted briefing. Each member species adopted Confederation technology when they joined, gradually losing their unique approaches to problem-solving. They've traded diversity for uniformity. But humanity had refused to follow that path. Instead of trying to catch up to Confederation technology, they'd gone in entirely new directions. When the Confederation banned certain types of quantum research, humans developed analog systems that achieved similar results through mechanical means. When energy generation was restricted, they created new ways to harvest and store power that appeared to Confederation sensors like natural planetary processes. The most ambitious project was taking shape in Antarctica, deep beneath the ice. Project Oracle, led by Dr. James Henderson, was developing a revolutionary form of faster-than-light travel. Unlike Confederation ships that bent space in controlled, measurable ways, Oracle used the natural quantum fluctuations of space itself, riding them like a surfer catching waves. The beauty of it, Henderson explained to his team, is that it looks like random space-time distortion to their sensors. They've mapped all the safe ways to manipulate space for FTL travel, but they never bothered to study the natural chaos of space itself. They see it as noise to be filtered out. We're learning to speak its language. But keeping all this hidden was becoming increasingly challenging. The Confederation wasn't stupid, and some of their observers had begun to notice small inconsistencies in Earth's development patterns. Admiral Caxthor himself had scheduled an inspection of major human research facilities, citing concerns about unusual energy fluctuations. In response, humanity accelerated their preparations. The network of hidden facilities switched to minimal power modes, running their most critical projects through biological computers that were indistinguishable from natural life signs. The quantum resonance field generators were dismantled and relocated, their components disguised as medical equipment and geological survey tools. Dr. Chen stood in the primary control room of the Baikal facility, watching real-time data feeds from facilities around the world. Each one showed as a subtle pulse, a heartbeat that the Confederation's sensors registered as nothing more than planetary background noise. Humanity's silent revolution was nearly complete, and soon they would reveal just how much they'd accomplished under the watchful eyes of their would-be controllers. They think they've confined us to a primitive technological level, she said to her assembled team. But what they've really done is force us to become something entirely new, something they couldn't predict because they couldn't imagine it. She paused, looking at the data streams that represented years of hidden progress. And when they finally realize what we've become, it will be too late to stop us. Operation Blindside. Admiral Caxthor's inspection fleet descended through Earth's atmosphere, their ships gleaming in the morning sun. From the observation deck of his flagship, the crystalline admiral watched the approaching coastline of what humans called North America. His form flickered with subtle oranges, a sign of mild concern. Something about Earth had been bothering him for months. The energy readings were too clean, too perfect. Every inspection showed exactly what they expected to see, not a decimal point out of place. In his centuries of oversight experience, he'd never seen a species adapt so completely, so perfectly, to restrictions. The fleet landed at the designated inspection site outside New Phoenix, where human representatives waited to begin the scheduled tour of research facilities. Dr. Sarah Chen stood among them, her expression professionally neutral as she watched the Confederation officials disembark. "Welcome to Earth, Admiral," she greeted him, following the prescribed protocols perfectly. "We're honored by your personal attention to our development progress." The Admiral's crystalline form shifted through several colors before settling on a diplomatic blue. "Dr. Chen, our sensors have detected some anomalies in recent months. I trust you can explain them." "Of course, Admiral. If you'll follow me, we've prepared a complete demonstration of all our current research projects." As they toured the facility, everything appeared exactly as it should. Researchers worked on approved technologies, each project carefully documented and well within Confederation guidelines. But beneath the surface, a hidden network hummed with activity. In secure bunkers around the globe, teams of scientists and military personnel watched the inspection through quantum-encrypted feeds, waiting for the signal. Dr. Marcus Wong sat in the control center beneath the Rockies, monitoring the energy signatures of the Confederation fleet. They're fully within the resonance field perimeter, he reported through the secure channel. All ships are in position. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Henderson's team made final adjustments to Project Oracle. The FTL drive they'd developed wasn't just a new way to travel through space. It was a key part of today's operation. Oracle Matrix is stable, Henderson confirmed. Ready on your mark. The inspection continued, moving from lab to lab. Admiral Caxthor's unease grew with each perfect demonstration, each flawless explanation. His crystalline form began to show traces of red, a sign of growing agitation. This facility, he declared suddenly, gesturing to the quantum research lab they were about to enter. Show me its power consumption records for the past year. Dr. Chen smiled. This was the moment they'd been waiting for. Actually, Admiral, I have something else to show you. She pressed a small device in her pocket, sending a signal through the hidden network. Across the globe, humanity's hidden technology activated simultaneously. The quantum resonance field, previously invisible, manifested as a subtle distortion in the air. Every Confederation ship in orbit and on the ground found their systems suddenly unresponsive. Admiral Caxthor's form flashed brilliant red as his personal shields and communication devices went dark. What is the meaning of this? He demanded, his voice carrying both anger and, for the first time, a trace of fear. This, Dr. Chen replied calmly, is humanity showing you what we're really capable of. Did you think we'd simply accept being held back, being controlled? You forgot something fundamental about our species. Admiral, we never stop learning, never stop advancing, even when you think you've contained us. Around the globe, hidden facilities revealed themselves. The biological computers beneath the Pacific began coordinating a planet-wide network that operated completely outside Confederation detection methods. The crystalline processors in the Sahara facility spun up to full power, their energy signatures masquerading as natural geological activity. In orbit, Earth's real fleet emerged from hiding. Ships powered by Henderson's Oracle drive flickered into existence, having been there all along but phase-shifted just slightly out of normal space-time. They took up position around the disabled Confederation vessels, their weapons armed but not targeting. Impossible, Caxthor whispered, his crystalline form cycling through colors rapidly. Our sensors would have detected. Your sensors can only detect what they're designed to detect, Dr. Wong explained, entering the room. You've spent so long perfecting one path of technological development that you forgot there might be others. While you watched for quantum violations and power surges, we developed entirely new sciences, ones that your sensors literally cannot see. The evidence of humanity's achievements surrounded them. Holographic displays materialized, showing the true extent of Earth's development. Networks of hidden facilities, fleets of advanced ships, and technologies that operated on principles the Confederation had never even theorized. We could have used this technology to attack, Dr. Chen continued, to destroy your ships, kill your observers, and declare war on the Confederation. But that's not our goal. This demonstration has a different purpose. On cue, Dr. Henderson's voice came through the newly activated Earth communication network. Oracle drive systems are now online for all ships. We can deploy the entire fleet anywhere in Confederation space within moments, completely undetectable by their current sensors. Admiral Caxthor's form had settled into a pale white, a color Dr. Chen had never seen before in their species. You're not asking for freedom, he realized. You're declaring it. More than that, Dr. Chen corrected. We're offering a choice. The Confederation can continue its current path, trying to control and restrict other species, forcing them all to develop along the same narrow technological lines. Or, she gestured to the displays showing Earth's achievements. You can learn from us. Imagine what the galaxy could achieve if we combined our different approaches to science and technology. Think of the advances we could make together, as equals. The Admiral was silent for a long moment, his crystalline form slowly shifting through deep blues and purples as he processed the implications. Around them, humanity's hidden technology continued its work, maintaining control of the situation while demonstrating remarkable restraint. What happened next would determine the future not just of humanity, but of technological development throughout the galaxy. The silent revolution had become a visible one, and its effects would ripple through the cosmos for centuries to come. The turning tide. The news spread through the galaxy like a shockwave. Within days of Operation Blindside, every species in the Confederation had heard how humanity had not only circumvented their restrictions, but developed entirely new branches of science in the process. The response was immediate and overwhelming. In the Great Assembly Hall of the Confederation capital world, Centaurus Prime, the Council of Species gathered for an emergency session. The massive chamber, designed to accommodate representatives of all 17 member species, buzzed with tension and excitement. Admiral Caxthor stood before them, his crystalline form a subdued gray as he delivered his report. The holographic displays behind him showed detailed analyses of Earth's technological achievements, or at least what little of them Confederation sensors could actually detect. They didn't just hide their development from us, he explained, his voice carrying across the chamber. They fundamentally changed how they approach technology. Our restrictions forced them to think in ways we never considered possible. In the diplomatic quarter of Centaurus Prime, the newly established Earth Embassy had become the center of attention. Dr. Sarah Chen, now serving as Earth's chief scientific liaison, found herself overwhelmed with requests for meetings and technological demonstrations. We've received formal requests for technological exchange programs from 12 member species, her assistant reported, scrolling through an endless stream of communications. And 3 non-member species have reached out about possible alliances. The most interesting development came from the Arxer, a species that had been under similar restrictions for the past century. Their representative, a serpentine being named Sothbar, requested a private meeting with Dr. Chen. We watched what you did, Sothbar said, their scales shifting patterns in what Chen had learned was excitement. You proved it could be done. That the Confederation's control isn't absolute. But not everyone was celebrating Earth's emergence. The Confederation's military hardliners, led by High Commander Vextol, saw humanity's achievement as a threat to galactic stability. In closed sessions, they argued for immediate military action to contain Earth's influence. Dr. Marcus Wong, monitoring these developments from Earth's quantum network, detected unusual movements in the Confederation fleet. They're repositioning ships near major trade routes, he reported to the United Earth Council. Officially, it's a training exercise. Unofficially, the Council had anticipated this reaction. Project Oracle's FTL drive had given Earth an unprecedented advantage. Their ships could move undetected through Confederation space, gathering intelligence and maintaining constant vigilance against potential threats. But humanity's real victory wasn't military, it was ideological. Across the galaxy, species that had accepted Confederation oversight began questioning the established order. The Proxima Centauri colonies, long under strict technological restrictions, began experimenting with biological computing. The Sirius Collective started researching crystalline processors similar to those developed in the Sahara. Dr. Elena Petrov found herself traveling between worlds, consulting with scientists eager to explore new technological paths. The Confederation's mistake, she explained to a group of Arxer researchers, was assuming there was only one valid path of technological progress. They forgot that diversity, of thought, of approach, of methodology, is the true engine of innovation. The political landscape shifted rapidly. Younger members of the Confederation Council, particularly those from species with more recent memories of independence, began advocating for reform. They proposed a new framework for galactic cooperation, one based on sharing and collaboration rather than control and restriction. Even Admiral Caxthor, once the face of Confederation oversight, became an unexpected ally. His experiences on Earth had profoundly changed his perspective. "I spent centuries believing we were guiding lesser species toward enlightenment," he admitted during a private meeting with Dr. Chen. "Now I realize we were only showing them one path while blocking all others." The situation came to a head 3 months after Operation Blindside. High Commander Vextol, against the Council's orders, mobilized a battle fleet with the intention of blockading Earth. The ships never reached their destination. Earth's Oracle Drive vessels intercepted them in deep space, surrounding the fleet before they even knew they were there. "This is not a battle you can win," Dr. Henderson's voice transmitted to the Confederation fleet. "Your sensors can't track our ships. Your weapons can't target what they can't detect. And yet here we are, choosing once again not to strike." The incident became a turning point. The Council voted to remove Vextol from command, and more importantly, to begin dismantling the system of technological restrictions that had defined Confederation policy for centuries. Dr. Chen stood in the assembly hall as the votes were tallied, watching history unfold. Beside her, Admiral Caxthor's crystalline form had taken on a new color, a deep, thoughtful purple she'd never seen before. "You know," he said quietly, "when we first discovered Earth, we thought we were containing a potential threat to galactic stability. Instead, you've shown us that our own stagnation was the real threat. Your species didn't just develop new technologies, you forced us all to remember what innovation truly means." Around them, representatives from across the galaxy were already forming new alliances and research partnerships. The tide hadn't just turned, it had become a wave of change that would reshape the future of galactic civilization. A new dawn. 5 years after Operation Blindside, Earth had become the heart of a technological renaissance that swept across the galaxy. The Galactic Institute of Multipath Development, headquartered in what was once the Confederation's oversight facility on Luna, hummed with activity as scientists from dozens of species collaborated on groundbreaking research. Dr. Sarah Chen walked through the Institute's main research hub, passing laboratories where crystalline Confederation researchers worked alongside Arxer bioengineers and human quantum physicists. Each team approached problems from their own unique perspective, leading to innovations that would have been impossible under the old system. "The latest results from Project Synthesis are in," her assistant reported, hovering beside her on a gravity disk. Another innovation born from the combination of human ingenuity and Confederation technology. "The hybrid drive system is showing 300% better efficiency than our initial projections." Project Synthesis represented everything the new era stood for: a fusion of human Oracle drive technology with traditional Confederation FTL systems, enhanced by Arxer biocomputing interfaces. The result was a propulsion system that could be detected and regulated by conventional sensors while maintaining most of the Oracle drive's advantages. In orbit above Earth, the massive form of the Stellar Academy took shape. The space station, built through a collaboration of all former Confederation species, would serve as both a research facility and a symbol of the new galactic order. Its design incorporated architectural elements from every member species, creating a structure as diverse as the civilization it represented. Dr. Marcus Wong, now leading the Academy's Theoretical Sciences Division, stood in the nearly completed central atrium. Through the vast observation windows, he could see ships from across the galaxy coming and going, each one utilizing different combinations of technologies that would have been forbidden just years ago. "Remember when they thought they needed to restrict us?" he asked Admiral Caxthor, who had become a close friend and collaborator over the years. The Admiral's crystalline form shimmered with amused blues and greens. "We were so certain we knew best," Caxthor admitted. "We thought technological progress was a single path that had to be carefully controlled. You showed us it's more like a garden. The more diverse it is, the better everything grows." The evidence of this new philosophy could be seen throughout the galaxy. The Proxima Centauri colonies had developed a revolutionary form of terraforming by combining their experience with harsh environments, human biological computing, and Confederation energy manipulation. The Sirius Collective had created an entirely new form of FTL communication by applying crystalline computing principles to quantum entanglement. But perhaps the most profound changes were cultural. The rigid hierarchy of the old Confederation had given way to a more dynamic and collaborative society. Species that had once competed for status now worked together, each contributing their unique perspectives and abilities to solve common challenges. Dr. Elena Petrov, supervising a joint research project in the Sahara facility, watched as a team of young scientists from 6 different species debugged a new type of quantum resonance field generator. They weren't just sharing technology. They were sharing ways of thinking, approaching problems from angles that would have been impossible in isolation. "The field is stable," announced Tilara, a young Confederation researcher whose crystalline form glowed with pride. "But I think we could improve the efficiency if we applied some principles from human biological computing." "What if we incorporated Arcsir phase shifting?" suggested another team member, their scales rippling with excitement. "It could help manage the quantum fluctuations." This was the future they had fought for. Not just freedom from restrictions, but the creation of something entirely new. The galaxy had learned that true progress couldn't be controlled or contained. It had to be nurtured and allowed to grow in unexpected directions. In the Academy's Grand Conference Chamber, Dr. Chen prepared to address the first graduating class of the new Galactic science program. The students represented every known spacefaring species, each bringing their own cultural and technological heritage to the field. When humanity first encountered the Confederation, she began, looking out over the diverse gathering. "We were told we had to choose between isolation and submission. Instead, we chose to show the galaxy a third option: cooperation without conformity, progress without restriction, unity without uniformity." She gestured to the massive window behind her, where Earth hummed like a blue jewel against the black of space. "Look how far we've come. Not just humans, but all of us. We've learned that the greatest discoveries don't come from following a single path, but from exploring every possible route to understanding. The technologies we've developed together are beyond what any one species could have achieved alone." The chamber erupted in applause, a cacophony of sounds as each species expressed approval in their own way. Dr. Chen smiled, remembering the tense days of secret development beneath Lake Baikal, the careful planning of Operation Blindside, the uncertainty of those first diplomatic exchanges. Admiral Caxthor, sitting in the front row, had shifted to a deep, peaceful blue she'd never seen before. His voice carried clearly as he leaned toward Dr. Henderson. "You know, we thought we were protecting the galaxy from humanity's rapid advancement. Instead, humanity protected the galaxy from our own stagnation." As the ceremony concluded, ships from across known space lit up the night sky with celebrations using technologies that merged human innovation with alien science. The display was more than just a celebration. It was a testament to what could be achieved when different species, different approaches, and different dreams were allowed to flourish together. The galaxy had entered a new dawn, and its light came not from a single sun, but from countless stars shining together, each in its own unique way.